All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning, I'm Sunil Verma and with me Subhadra Ramachandran. The headlines. India achieves landmark milestone by administering over 86 lakh doses of COVID vaccines in a single day. Over 28 crore 81 lakh doses of COVID-19 vaccine administered in the country so far. India's active COVID-19 caseload declines to around 7 lakh. National recovery rate touches 96.36%. ARDE Pune develops state-of-the-art canopy severance system for fighter aircraft which helps safe ejection of a pilot in distress. Government proposes several amendments in e-commerce rules to bring transparency. India received $64 billion in foreign direct investment in 2020. Government extends waiver of interstate transmission charges on transmission of electricity generated from solar and wind sources. European Union and UK slap fresh sanctions against Myanmar over the military coup. New Zealand to resume their first innings from 101-2 in World Test Championship final in Southampton. And in Eurocup football, Belgium, Netherlands, Austria and Denmark reached the last 16 stage. As the nation gears up for free COVID-19 vaccination campaign at government facilities for those above 18 years, we advise our listeners to get vaccinated. We also advise our listeners not to lower their guard as COVID-19 remains a threat to our health. Please stay at home unless it is essential to go out and continue to follow 4 simple steps. Wear face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene and get vaccinated. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011-2397-8046 and 1075. And now the news. India has achieved a landmark milestone by administering over 86 lakh doses of COVID vaccines in one day. The Union Health Ministry has said this major feat has been achieved on the first day of the largest free vaccination campaign in the world, which was started in the country yesterday. So far, over 28 crore 81 lakh doses of COVID vaccine have been administered in the country. Prime Minister Narendra Modi said yesterday's record-breaking vaccination numbers are gladdening. He said, the vaccine remains our strongest weapon to fight COVID-19. Mr. Modi also congratulated those who got vaccinated and lauded all the frontline warriors working hard to ensure so many citizens got the vaccine. More from our correspondent.
COVID vaccine is an effective tool in the fight against the coronavirus. Vaccine provides immunity from this disease. With the active support of states and union territories, the central government is continuously engaged in expanding the scope of nationwide COVID vaccination drive. The vaccination drive has picked up pace with the availability of more vaccines and improvement in the vaccine supply chain. During the last month, more than 7.9 crore vaccines were available for the vaccination exercise. These were ramped up to 11.78 crore in this month. Advanced information about the availability of vaccines provided by the central government to states and union territories helped in better administration of vaccines to beneficiaries at the ground level. Under the new phase of vaccination, all citizens above the age of 18 years can avail free vaccination at any government facilities. Bhupendra Singh, AIR News, Delhi.
India's active COVID caseload has declined to 7,02,887. The Health Ministry said India reported 53,256 new cases during the last 24 hours, which is the lowest in 88 days. Over 78,000 patients recovered during the last 24 hours, taking the total recoveries across the country to more than 2 crore 88 lakh 44,000 so far. Daily recoveries continue to outnumber the daily new cases for the 39th consecutive day. The recovery rate has increased to 96.36%. Madhya Pradesh has become the first state in the country to achieve more than 15 lakh COVID vaccinations against the 10 lakh target set for the mega vaccination drive on International Yoga Day. More from our correspondent.
On World Yoga Day, Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan inaugurated the mega vaccination drive at 7,000 centers in Madhya Pradesh. A unique example was set in the country as more than 15 lakh people were administered the vaccine. This is about 20% of the total vaccination done in the country yesterday. Chief Minister, while congratulating all persons involved in vaccination drive, said that these vaccination figures are proving that the people of the state are ready to fight against the third wave of corona. Pooja Vardhan, AIR News, Bhopal.
In Gujarat, as many as 4,87,960 people were vaccinated against COVID-19 yesterday on the first day of mega drive launched across the state. More than 3,72,000 doses of COVID vaccines were administered to the beneficiaries in the age group of 18 to 44 years, for which the state has launched an on-the-spot registration facility. With this, the number of vaccine doses administered so far in the state went up to 2 crore 25 lakh. The state reported 151 new cases in the last 24 hours. State Health Department said 619 patients recovered from the infection in the last 24 hours, pushing the count of recovered cases to 8,06,812. With this, the state recovery rate rose to 98.09%. There are 5,639 active cases of COVID-19 in the state.
Maharashtra government has decided to resume free COVID-19 vaccination of the age group 18 to 29 years from today in government hospitals. All beneficiaries from this age group will be able to get free vaccines at government hospitals in the state. We have a report.
Due to limited availability of vaccines, Maharashtra government has suspended vaccination of age group of 18 to 44 in second week of May in government hospitals, while interested beneficiaries were able to get vaccinated at private hospitals or corporate vaccination centers. From Saturday, the state government had allowed vaccination of age group of 30 to 44 in government hospitals. Maharashtra's Health Minister Rajesh Tope announced that from today, youth between the age group of 18 to 29 can also be vaccinated at government hospitals. Jeevan Bhavsar, AIR News, Mumbai.
Meanwhile, 6,270 fresh COVID cases and 94 deaths were recorded during the last 24 hours in the state. According to State Health Department, as many as 518 infections were reported from Mumbai, while Pune logged 147 cases. In all, 13,758 patients recovered yesterday. The total number of active cases now stands at 1,24,000. Meanwhile, State Health Minister Rajesh Tope has informed that the state government has decided to roll out the vaccination drive for all citizens above 18 years of age in every district of the state.
Odisha has administered more than 1 crore 12 lakh doses of COVID-19 vaccines to the beneficiaries so far. While more than 18 lakh beneficiaries have been fully vaccinated, about 83 lakh people have received the first jab. We have more from our correspondent.
Yesterday, when the centre launched free vaccination for all, Odisha ramped up its entire vaccination infrastructure to administer a record 3 lakh plus doses of COVID-19 vaccine. The state had arranged more than 1,600 session sites across the state for the purpose. The cumulative vaccination chart reveals that more than 21 lakh people in the age group of 18 to 44 years, more than 33 lakh beneficiaries in the age bracket of 45 to 60 years, and about 28 lakh senior citizens have so far been vaccinated. Girish Chandra Das, AIR News, Bhubaneswar.
Bengaluru Urban District and Bruhat Bengaluru Mahanagara Palike jointly administered 2,14,709 doses of COVID vaccine yesterday on the first day of Tikakaran Maha Abhiyan. Karnataka Health and Medical Education Minister Dr. K. Sudhakar has tweeted that Bengaluru Urban District administered the highest vaccine doses in the country yesterday, followed by Indore. The vaccination sessions were conducted at government offices, garment factories, APMC market yards, banks, hotels and places where street vendors and construction workers were present. Over 52,88,000 doses were administered in the Bengaluru Urban District till yesterday. According to the CoWIN portal, over 1 crore 95,37,000 doses are administered in the state till date, and out of this, over 33 lakh persons have received both the doses. The minister has said that the plan is to vaccinate everyone above the age of 18 years by December in the state. The Hyderabad-based ICMR, National Institute of Nutrition, along with Telangana government, is taking up for the first time the sero-surveillance or prevalence of COVID-19 antibodies survey among children in the state. The survey will be undertaken today in Janagaon, Kamareddy and Nalgonda districts as part of its fourth round of sero-surveillance survey. It will continue for 3 to 4 days.
In Tamil Nadu, fresh COVID cases have reduced to 7,427. Over 15,000 COVID patients were discharged after treatment. A total of 189 deaths were reported. Presently, more than 61,000 patients are under treatment. Over 165,000 samples were tested through RT-PCR across the state. Chennai's fresh COVID cases count went below 500. Coimbatore and Erode were at 891 and 795 respectively.
In Bihar, Unlock 3.0 has been extended for 2 weeks with certain restrictions. This will be effective from the 23rd of June to 6th of July. This decision was taken at a meeting of the Crisis Management Group headed by Chief Minister Nitish Kumar. According to revised guidelines, the government and private offices will function with 100% attendance. Shops and business establishments will open till 7 p.m. on alternate days. Night curfew will continue from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. the next morning. Parks and gardens will be open from 6 a.m. to 12 noon. Educational institutions and religious places will remain closed. Online teaching will continue in educational institutions. Government and private functions at common places have been prohibited. Chief Minister Nitish Kumar said the restrictions during Unlock have had a positive impact in the state. Mr. Kumar said the positivity rate has declined and recovery rate increased after restrictions. Talking to All India Radio in its bilingual live phone-in program, Corona Jagrta series, Dr. Anupam Prakash, Professor of Medicine, Lady Hardinge Medical College, said people should follow COVID-appropriate behavior at the COVID centers.
टीकाकरण केंद्रों की जो महत्ता है बहुत ज्यादा है। वहाँ पे जो लोग ड्यूटी कर रहे हैं उनके लिए भी बहुत जिम्मेदारी वाला कार्य है। अगर कोई दिक्कत हो जाए किसी को, कभी किसी को चक्कर आ जाता है, घबराहट होने लगती है, तो वो सब चीजें भीड़ भाड़ को भी दूर रखना और कोविड अप्रोप्रिएट बिहेवियर का वहाँ पे पालन होना, ये सब चीजें एक बहुत ही अपने में एक नियंत्रण के साथ रखना आसान काम नहीं है। लेकिन काफी सारे केंद्र इसको बहुत अच्छी तरीके से बहुत बखूबी
All modern aircraft are equipped with the Canopy Severance System, CSS, which is an escape path clearance system for the pilot in case of emergencies occurring on the aircraft. State-of-the-art CSS has been developed ab initio at Armament Research and Development Establishment, ARDE, Pune, in association with High Energy Material Research Laboratory, Pune, for the indigenously developed LCA Tejas and trainer aircraft, HJT-36 aircraft and HTT-40 aircraft. It provides safe passage by pre-weakening or severing the canopy to facilitate the smooth escape of the pilot in the shortest possible time. A transfer of technology certificate award ceremony was held yesterday evening at ARDE in the gracious presence of distinguished scientist and Director General of Armament and Combat Engineering, P.K. Mehta of Defence Research and Development Organization. CSS has two independent subsystems. The first one is the in-flight egress system for in-flight emergencies, which is integrated with the seat ejection operation, and the second one is the ground egress system for on-ground emergencies, which is independent of seat ejection. CSS for LCA Tejas were tested successfully in seat ejection trials at Martin Baker Company, London, UK, and for trainer aircraft at Zvezda, Moscow, Russia.
You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. India achieves landmark milestone by administering over 86 lakh doses of COVID vaccines in a single day. Over 28 crore, 81 lakh doses of COVID-19 vaccine administered in the country so far. India's active COVID-19 caseload declines to around 7 lakh. National recovery rate touches 96.36%. ARDE Pune developed state-of-the-art Canopy Severance System for fighter aircraft, which helps safe ejection of a pilot in distress. Government proposes several amendments in e-commerce rules to bring transparency. India received $64 billion in foreign direct investment in 2020. Government extends waiver of interstate transmission charges on transmission of electricity generated from solar and wind sources. European Union and UK slap fresh sanctions against Myanmar over the military coup. New Zealand to resume their first innings from 101-2 in World Test Championship final in Southampton. And Euro Cup football, Belgium, Netherlands, Austria and Denmark reached the last 16 stage. For quick news updates around the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो खुद से वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे.
The Centre is disseminating awareness of national helpline numbers for the benefit of citizens during the COVID-19 pandemic. The helpline number of the Health and Family Welfare Ministry is 1075. The Child Helpline number is 1098. For senior citizens of Delhi, Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Tamil Nadu, Telangana, Uttar Pradesh and Uttarakhand, the helpline number is 14567. The helpline number of National Institute of Mental Health and Neurosciences, NIMHANS, for psychological support is 08046110007. Ayush COVID-19 counselling helpline number is 14443 and MyGov WhatsApp help desk number is 9013151515.
The Union Government has proposed several amendments in the e-commerce rules to bring transparency and curb the prevalent unfair trade practices in the online marketing platforms. The government is sharing a draft of the proposed amendments to the Consumer Protection E-commerce Rules 2020 to protect the interests of consumers and encourage free and fair competition in the market. According to the proposed rules, the e-commerce platforms will need to appoint a chief compliance officer, a nodal officer, a resident grievance officer, and other officials to ensure compliance with the provisions of the Act and rules. It has been proposed to put in place a framework for registration of every e-commerce entity with the Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade for allotment of registration number. This registration number will be displayed prominently on the website as well as the invoice of every order. Department of Consumer Affairs has sought comments and suggestions on proposed amendments in Consumer Protection Act by 6th July. New business processes like e-commerce and other market developments have transformed the way consumers make transactions these days. The government has been holding a series of discussions with all the stakeholders to strengthen the existing Act. The Consumer Affairs Ministry has said that various new ideas and suggestions came up and many of those have been incorporated in the new draft Consumer Protection Act. The same has now been circulated for public.
India received $64 billion in foreign direct investment in 2020, the fifth largest recipient of inflows in the world, according to a UN report. The report said, in India, foreign direct investment increased 27% to $64 billion in 2020 from $51 billion in 2019, pushed up by acquisitions in the information and communication technology industry. The World Investment Report 2021 by the UN Conference on Trade and Development released said global foreign direct investment flows have been severely hit by the pandemic and they plunged 35% in 2020 to $1 trillion from $1.5 trillion the previous year. Government has extended the waiver of Interstate Transmission System ISTS charges on transmission of electricity generated from solar and wind sources up to 30th June 2025. Earlier, it was up to 30th June 2023. Power Ministry has issued order in this regard. The waiver of ISTS charges has also been allowed for hydro-pumped storage plant and battery energy storage system projects to be commissioned up to 30th June 2025. This will promote the hydro-pumped storage plant and battery energy storage system projects for meeting the balancing requirement of the grid caused due to large-scale integration of renewables in the electricity grid. The move will promote the development of solar, wind, hydro-pumped storage plant and battery energy storage system, trading of RE in the power exchanges and seamless transmission of RE power across the states.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said yoga has remained a ray of hope as the whole world fights the COVID pandemic. Addressing people on the occasion of the 7th International Day of Yoga yesterday, Mr. Modi said, even though major public events have not been organized for the past 2 years due to the pandemic, enthusiasm about Yoga Day has not diminished. Mr. Modi said, nobody was mentally prepared to deal with coronavirus, but yoga has become a medium of self-confidence. He stated that whenever sages of India spoke about health, they not only meant physical health, but also mental health.
आज योग के इस पहलू पर दुनिया भर के विशेषज्ञ अनेक प्रकार के साइंटिफिक रिसर्च भी कर रहे हैं, उस पर काम कर रहे हैं। साथियों, कोरोना काल में योग से हमारे शरीर को होने वाले फायदों पर, हमारी इम्यूनिटी पर पड़ने वाले सकारात्मक प्रभावों पर कई स्टडीज हो रही है। आजकल हम देखते हैं कई स्कूलों में ऑनलाइन क्लासेस की शुरुआत में 10-15 मिनट बच्चों को योग प्राणायाम कराया जा रहा है। ये कोरोना से मुकाबले के लिए भी बच्चों की शारीरिक रूप में तैयारी कर रहा है।
He said yoga has laid much emphasis on physical health as well as mental health. He said yoga shows the way from stress to strength and from negativity to creativity. The Prime Minister said yoga has given a way for holistic health and a happier way of life. He exuded confidence that yoga will continue playing its preventive as well as promotive role in the healthcare of masses. Ladakh is a hub of herbal wealth in the Trans-Himalayan region. Most of these wild herbs are important components in traditional health and wellness system of medicine Sowa Rigpa. UT Ladakh is taking several measures to preserve herbs from extinction and promote it for socio-economic development of the society. A special story on the occasion of Golden Jubilee of AIR Leh on 25th of this month.
Research and development of herbal wealth has been ramped up in Ladakh. National Research Institute for Sowa Rigpa has found 1,000 species of herbs in Ladakh. Out of these, 525 species have been identified as either medicinal or with aromatic values. UT administration is in the process of establishment of State Medicinal Plant Board for promotion of medicinal plant in Ladakh. On promotional of medicinal plant, Director National Research Institute for Sowa Rigpa डॉक्टर पद्मा गुरमीत सेज
के राष्ट्रीय स्वास्थ्य अनुसंधान द्वारा एक हर्बल गार्डन का प्रोजेक्ट 10 हेक्टेयर जमीन पे कर रहे हैं, जिसमें इन जड़ी बूटियों के ऊपर शोध किया जा रहा है और उनके संरक्षण के लिए उद्यान बनाए जा रहे हैं कि कई सारे पहाड़ों के जड़ी बूटियों का खेती बाड़ी किस तरह से किया जा सकता है, उसके बारे में शोध कर रहे हैं। आने वाले वर्षों में हमारे लद्दाख के लिए जड़ी बूटी पर आधारित इंडस्ट्री को ग्रो करने में ये बहुत लाभदायक होगी।
इंडियन ट्रेडिशनल सोवा रिग्पा सिस्टम ऑफ medicine is popular in Himalayan region. To promote this medicinal system, first National Research Institute was set up in Ladakh as an apex body. With Ramesh Chandra, this is Youngstown Dolma of Air News, Ladakh.
In the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, a 2-day regional conference on the theme Replication of Good Governance Practices is scheduled to be held from 1st of July at Kashmir International Convention Centre in Srinagar. While reviewing the arrangements yesterday, Commissioner Secretary General Administration Department Manoj Kumar Dwivedi informed the meeting that Department of Administrative Reforms and Public Grievances, Government of India, is holding the regional conference for the second time in the Union Territory with sessions on national and state level good practices, where success stories and developmental models will be shared with the participants. The first conference on the same theme was held in Jammu in November 2019.
European Union and United Kingdom yesterday slapped fresh sanctions on Myanmar state-owned entities and individuals over the military coup in February and the security crackdown that followed. According to the statement, the 27-member European bloc imposed an asset freeze and a travel ban on 8 Myanmar officials, among them the Home Affairs Minister responsible for the police force, and slapped sanctions on 3 companies that are state-owned or controlled by the military. In the World Test Championship final match in Southampton, India and New Zealand players are frustrated by the weather again, as another day was completely washed out by rain. Persistent rain hung around throughout the fourth day until the play was abandoned for the day. Only 141.1 overs have been possible so far. New Zealand will resume their first innings from 101 runs for the loss of 2 wickets today. They are trailing India by 116 runs. India made 217 in their first innings. A reserve 6-day is in place. So 2 days remain, but a draw is now the clear favourite for the inaugural final.
In the Euro 2020 football, the Netherlands registered a 3-0 win over North Macedonia in a Group C match at Amsterdam. The victory ended the Macedonian all-win campaign record. The Dutch had already sealed the top spot in Group. They will play their last 16 match in Budapest on Sunday. In another Group C match, Austria defeated Ukraine 1-0 to enter the last 16 stage for the first time in the Euro. The win put Austria in second place with 6 points. They will face Italy in the pre-quarterfinals in London on Saturday. In a Group B clash in Copenhagen, Denmark set up a last 16 tie with Wales after an emphatic 4-1 victory over Russia to finish second in the group. In another Group B match at St. Petersburg, Belgium secured their third win of the tournament by beating Finland 2-0 in a hard-fought match to qualify for the last 16. There will be 2 Group D matches tonight. In London's Wembley Stadium, England will take on Czech Republic, while in Hampden Park, Glasgow, Croatia will clash with Scotland.
With 32 days to go for Tokyo Olympic Games, All India Radio today brings to you a special story on the life of Deepak Punia, ranked number 2 by United World Wrestling for Tokyo.
Born on May 19, 1999 in Jhajjar, Haryana, Deepak has been seeded second by World Wrestling Body for Olympics in the 86 kg category. Deepak won a silver medal at the 2019 World Wrestling Championships in the freestyle 86 kg category and secured a place for Japan. Deepak's father and grandfather competed in local dangals in Jhajjar town, and he used to accompany them since he was 4 years old. In order to earn some quick money to fund his career, Deepak started participating in local competitions after watching his cousin Sunil Kumar, who happened to be a well-known name in the dangal circuit. It was in 2015 that Deepak was taken to the Chhatrasal Stadium for formal training by his cousin. Navnita Adhikari, Sports Desk.
And now let us take a look at the weather forecast for today. Jammu will have a mainly clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. The minimum temperature was 25 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 37 degrees. Srinagar will have partly cloudy sky with the possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. Temperature will hover between 15 and 28 degrees Celsius. Leh will have partly cloudy sky. The minimum and maximum temperatures will vary between 11 and 24 degrees Celsius. Gilgit will be generally cloudy with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. Muzaffarabad will have mainly clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. The national capital, Delhi, will see partly cloudy sky. Mumbai will have a generally cloudy sky with light rain. Chennai will have thunderstorm with rain. Kolkata will have generally cloudy sky with a few spells of rain or thunder showers. Dehradun will have a partly cloudy sky. Chandigarh will have a generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. 82.7 lakh jabbed in one day. New phase of vaccination kicks in with central procurement, headlines the Indian Express. Capital records least cases, lowest positivity rate since the first wave began, Hindustan Times. Pace of vaccinations to be raised by July-August, says Amit Shah, headlines the Asian Age. Unlock 2.0 sparks 15% growth in FMCG sales, reports the Economic Times. Amarnath Yatra called off for second year in a row, Hindustan Times. CBSE informs Supreme Court that optional exams for Class 12 students not happy with their assessment will be held between August 15 and September 15, reports the Hindu. Ban on mis-selling among tighter norms mooted for e-commerce, writes the Times of India. The Tribune carries on its front page a photograph of people performing yogasans on a raft at Yamuna Ghat on International Day of Yoga yesterday. Yoga remains ray of hope as world fights COVID, says PM, is a headline in the Statesman.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. India achieves landmark milestone by administering over 86 lakh doses of COVID vaccines in a single day. Over 28 crore 87 lakh doses of COVID-19 vaccine administered in the country so far. India's active COVID-19 caseload declines to around 7 lakh. National recovery rate touches 96.36%. ARDE Pune develops state-of-the-art canopy severance system for fighter aircraft, which helps safe ejection of a pilot in distress. Government proposes several amendments in e-commerce rules to bring transparency. India received $64 billion in foreign direct investment in 2020. Government extends waiver of interstate transmission charges on transmission of electricity generated from solar and wind sources. European Union and UK slap fresh sanctions against Myanmar over the military coup. New Zealand to resume their first innings from 101-2 in World Test Championship final in Southampton. And in Eurocup football, Belgium, Netherlands, Austria and Denmark reach the last 16 stage. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.com and News on AIR app. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.